who in a vision has received a message of some fantastic guise necessarily has to impress upon his mind of what he has seen when given his message. And when he describes his vision, the picture he presents is is in the nature of the case more fantastic to the ear of the hearer than to the eye of him who saw it. Allowances should be made for this, especially by us Westerners, who are so lacking in rich imaginativeness of the Oriental. See, your frame of reference, your language, also constricts you in your expression. I mean, English is a synoptic language. It's a language that's very limited in far as artistic and poetic intertwining of words that can capsulize some of the things that these prophets could in their language. Our love of literalness hinders the play of imagination because we are so apt to materialize. Saying in English, this is a materialistic language. I have to see it to believe it. Whereas the other languages have more of an artistic, imaginative stretch that bounds was a lot more fluid than in English. We're more rigid here. A mental picture presented by another. The apocalypses were written by and for Orientals, and we cannot do justice to them unless we remember this. But it would be best if we could get into the Oriental mind and look at things from that point of view. Another thing which the reader of the apocalyptic literature must be prepared for is the frequent inconsistency of thought to be found there, together with variableness of teaching, often involving contradictions. People say the Bible contradicts itself. No, it doesn't. The Bible's like a coded book. And if you're not familiar with the code, sure, it would contradict itself over and over again. Having the Spirit of God is the main thing to understanding the Word of God. The Bible said the carnal mind is not subject to spiritual things, neither can it be. But that being a precedent, you got the Spirit of God. The Bible makes perfect sense. What God said, His Word is like a fine thread woven from Genesis all the way to Revelations. It says basically, when you understand the same thing over and over again, just different ways. It's a perfect harmony. The apocalypses were written by and for Orientals, and we cannot do justice to them unless we remember this. But it would be best if we could get into the Oriental mind and look at things from the point of view. Another thing that the reader of the apocalyptic literature must be prepared for